Algebra half. We're back. Lesson 17 is just areas of rectangles. Some reminder things. Actually, not a bad one to read on your own, just to double check that your brain is wrapped around this concept of area. You may be sitting there too sheepish to admit that perimeter and area still get confused in your mind, and that would be a huge problem going forward. Right? Perimeter describes a distance around a figure, a measurement we would use for things like fence or trim or things like that. What is area then? If perimeter is the distance around, area is, definition on page 61 explains, the amount of surface of a figure. Everything that fills the inside, right? More like a measurement for carpet or tile floor or something like that. You can divide a space into little units using measurements, like this one is in centimeters. So if this is 10 centimeters, we can split this up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 24. I won't even bother, but you can see how, let's go down here. If I do 24 across and I go up 10, how these end up being little cubits, little units. There would be how many? Well, that's the question. That's the question of area. How many squares would I end up having if I went all the way to this dotted line doing this, right? How do I find that? Simple multiplication. Length times width equals area, right? You know that. Mentally, what is 24 times 10? Just add a 0. Centimeters. How do I label area? I used 2 dimensions, so I use a little 2, a cubed. How do I read this? 240 square, sorry, not a cubed, a squared. So 240 square centimeters, or 240 centimeters squared. Cubed will be the little 3 in volume. We're not there yet. Now, that's not the area of the entire figure, is it? What's the last step to solving this problem? 2 more dimensions up here of another figure. 8 by 8 square. What's 8 squared? 64. What's 64 plus 240? 304 squared centimeters. You can also abbreviate squared centimeters, the book might do this, with an SQ period. Understand how we do this? Why don't you try practice B and C? Please, on your practice problem, show me this work. Show me what you added together. And going forward, that's something I'm going to look for when you do these problems, because eventually they're going to get more complicated and they're oftentimes marked wrong. I don't always need to see this, but I would like to see the total areas of each individual figure that gets added together to find the total. Don't just write this and do it all on your calculator. Please write what gets added at least. You can certainly show me more, but that's the minimum. Thank you. 2 practice problems, B and C.